Hi everyone, my name's Shane, and in this video, let's take a closer look at the classic, the king, the Leica M3. Let's go. So let's step back in time to 1954, where Leica had been producing 35mm film cameras that had a rangefinder and viewfinder in separate windows, which is like this example here in the Leica 3. In 1954, they combined the rangefinder and the viewfinder together into one finder, and that was revolutionary. And so in 1954, the king, the Leica M3, was first produced. It had a production run of about 12 years, and over 220,000 units of the Leica M3 were produced. That is an incredible run. If you consider a digital camera being produced for 12 years, it would just be phenomenal. But that's how long the Leica M3 was produced for. The first few batches of the Leica M3 had a self-timer like on this copy here, but no preview lever. So you see there's no lever on this side, whereas later production runs had both the self-timer and the preview lever. The early batches also had what are commonly referred to as the Buddha lugs on the side, which are different to the later models, which have the more standard smaller lugs that sit a bit lower on the sides. There's also some slight differences in the shutter speed numbers on the earlier production runs to the later production batches. So what makes the Leica M3 unique among all Leica M film cameras and also the Leica M digital cameras is the high magnification viewfinder. It actually has a 0.91 magnification finder, which essentially means it's closer to real life viewing than any other Leica film or digital camera. Because of that, the frame lines that are most suitable for this camera are 50mm and higher. So there's a 50mm frame line, a 90mm frame line, and a 135mm frame line. It is a beautiful camera to use, especially with a 50mm lens. That is a match made in heaven. A 90mm is also very usable on this camera. If you want to use a 35mm lens, you can either use an external finder, or there were even 35mm lenses that Leica made, which had the goggles attached to the lens, which were specifically made to fit the Leica M3. So all in all, the Leica M3 is such a beautiful camera. I think it could be argued it's the most beautiful Leica M film camera. It does have the outlines against each of the windows, which is quite unique, and no other body in general production of the Leica M cameras has that. The build of this is also considered of absolute high quality, and I think especially the early batch Leica M3s are considered probably some of the best built Leica M film cameras ever made. The tolerances are just so tight, and even using this M3 compared to the M2, I can notice just the quality and the finish that is on this Leica M3. It has the automatic film counter. Everything's just beautifully put together. The rewind, you can kind of tell when the film's advancing, this little red dot will move around. The base plate, I mean, everything that was on this Leica M3 really continued in some of the later cameras, but just with some slight changes. I think all in all, on the Leica M3, you're getting Leica almost at its finest, and that's testament to the fact that this camera was produced for 12 years and in such huge quantities. It was so popular, and even to this day, it's a beautiful camera to use. Is the Leica M3 the perfect camera? No, it's probably not the perfect camera, and that's probably why in 1957 Leica actually started production of the Leica M2, which had a lower magnification finder, being a 0.72 magnified finder, which allowed for the 35mm frame lines to be shown in the window. And that lower magnification finder is essentially found on all the later Leica M film and Leica M digital cameras. The other thing the M3 does not have is an inbuilt light meter. So if that's something you're looking for in a camera, then perhaps it's not going to be the perfect camera for you. But I think besides those couple of things, the Leica M3 is such a classic camera.
You 빛으로 전해지길 사랑해 나의 전부여.
So is the Leica M3 the king of all Leica film cameras? I really think it is. I think these early production M3s in particular are just built with such quality that it really was revolutionary at the time, and you've got a piece of history in your hand when you're using this camera, and that is such a delight. So all in all, I think the Leica M3, even to this day, is an amazing camera to use, especially paired with a 50mm lens. You'll love it. So if you've got a chance to have a look at one, even in a shop somewhere, do so, because you won't regret it. I hope you all enjoyed that deeper dive into the Leica M3. It really is such a classic and an amazing camera to use. Thanks everyone for watching, and please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these type of videos. Enjoy your day and happy shooting.